As every year, we had been invited with Dennis and Pat by our friends Klaus and Patricia to join them at Casa Oceania again. We anticipated just the usual delightful, relaxing sojourn, great company, arm among friends, just as we had enjoyed it so often.
I love it.
So you're recording this?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Here we are.
But we were not prepared for what Qualicum Beach in March really means, even though that's what the invitation had stated. Qualicum Beach in March. QB in March. In particular, Casa Oceania in March. Casa Oceania is Klaus and Patricia's house. Situated on a point above the beach, it offers 270 degrees of ocean views and mountains on the other side of the strait, giving you the impression of being on the bridge of a cruise ship. Very appropriate for a seafaring captain such as Klaus. But this time there was an unexpected twist to the usual delight. Arriving at Casa Oceania, we were greeted by an abundance of seagulls. Actually, more than an abundance, more like a blizzard of gulls. And this was just the introduction, just the welcoming committee. Klaus and Patricia had mentioned that March is the time of the visit of the black brant, a small species of geese which migrates in masses of tens of thousands through this area in spring on their way to the breeding grounds up north. We knew about that. After all, Qualicum Beach celebrates a Black Brant festival this time of year. But the emphasis on the Black Brant had not prepared us for the abundance and variety of wildlife we were presented with. The continuous stream of wings going by overhead and on every side all day long, being in a submarine driving through a swarm of sea creatures, could not have been more impressive. Out on the ocean there were black brant, yes, but not as conspicuous as we had expected. Instead, there were endless gulls, probably tens of thousands. There were also thousands of surf scooters, marine ducks. In between them there were seals, and even more conspicuous, sea lions rolling by, barking. Very impressive were the eagles. There may have been 30, or 40, or 50, or 60, impossible to tell, because everything moved all the time. Young eagles, mature eagles, mostly placid and content, sometimes bickering over who knows what. And periodically chasing the tens of thousands of gulls into the air. At the core of all this is the herring spawn, the completion of the reproductive cycle of millions of herring. Klaus and Patricia told us that the sea sometimes turns an emerald color because of the milk released by the herring. We saw only the eggs, which turn the surf a mustardy, slight sienna color. The beach is covered with herring caviar, several inches thick, meters wide, stretching along the ocean for kilometers. Tons of herring caviar. That is the attraction. That is what gets all the wildlife here. The brant feed on herring eggs, fatten up on it, before moving on to the breeding grounds in Alaska and the Yukon Territory. The gulls feed on the herring spawn. The eagles feed on it. There seem to be even little fish in the water feeding on it. The gulls, already fat with herring spawn, seem to amuse themselves with diving for these little fish when they can't even think of having more caviar. We were stunned. We knew that we witnessed one of the great celebrations of life that nature still is able to offer. Unforgettable. Thank you, Klaus and Patricia. Thank you for inviting us to experience this, in addition to your friendship, which we cherish and had already enjoyed so often.